let's speak to the acting executive director of the Strait Area Chamber of Commerce. Susan Fox and her colleagues have been very busy over the past month working with local businesses to help them get through this crisis, and she's also been active in setting up a Facebook group that will help people determine where they can get goods and food and other such things from businesses that are adopting some new business models to serve their customers. Let's check out that interview now. We are pleased to be joined by Susan Fox, who is the Acting Executive Director for the Strait Area Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank you, Susan, for joining me for this interview. And I'd like to begin by asking you to kind of walk back towards when you and the Chamber got the sense that things were really changing very quickly and how you folks have been able to adapt from that point onward in terms of being able to reach out to your businesses. What has just the last month been like for you folks as you've tried to deal with all this?
Well, when it all began, people were starting to work from home, and businesses were posting online how they were changing their hours, or that they were working from home, or they were doing counter pickups. So we saw that we should maybe group that all into one place. So we created the two Facebook groups. I'm sure a lot of people have seen them now. The Cape Breton North businesses that deliver Cape Breton North, and businesses that deliver Cape Breton South and Northern Nova Scotia. So the businesses can go in there and add their hours. They can state that they are making physical deliveries, or just that what have they done to deliver their product get their product to their people, whether it be a counter pickup, door pickup. A lot of businesses have changed their hours as well. Some people have changed that they're just the way they're offering their products. So we wanted them to be able to put that in a place, and that's how it kind of all started.
Well, let me ask you a little bit about that, because I have seen the Businesses That Deliver Facebook group as well too, and I really am impressed with a lot of the local businesses being so willing to adapt, and I mean adapting on the fly too. I mean, some businesses did try to stay open with reduced hours, some wound up having to close entirely, some were able to keep curbside delivery or takeout delivery in terms of restaurants being able to happen. Can you speak a little bit to the idea that there has been a real adaptation by a lot of the businesses here, and that a lot of them have done very well in this day and age?
Oh, for sure. And with regard to those groups, anyone can post in those. Like, we initially started them and reached out to a couple of businesses, and we still have businesses reaching out to us and asking us to put information on there. But any business can go on there, whether they're a chamber member or not. They can add their information in. And yeah, a lot of businesses are doing very well at adapting. I don't know that they have the amount of business that they originally had, but they've changed how they're delivering their service. I know there's a couple of restaurants in our chamber that the Barracan Bistro, Cafe and Bakery, and the Groundswell in Discouse, they changed that they're offering meal plans and takeout, and the Groundswell can even add beer to your order, because the provincial government changed that and takeout orders, they can serve alcohol. So that's a real change. You can get pizza and beer or pick up at a local restaurant, and that wasn't available before. So the things are changing, and there's different, like I say, counter pickups and things like that. So they've been able to do that. I know some restaurants have closed, and other businesses closed for a short time, but they're changing their business model to get that their product out the door. And I think you'll see more and more of that come in the coming days.
All right, we look forward to seeing how that all comes together. In the meantime, can you tell me a little bit about what the Chamber of Commerce is doing to help some of its members at this time? I mean, what kind of help and what kind of assistance have you been able to give to local businesses as we go through this COVID-19 period?
Well, we've created a landing page on our website where people can go and see all of the government programs that are out there for businesses. There's webinars on how people are, changing their business model, webinars on e-commerce, things like that, they can, a real resource center for businesses to go to. The Small Business Impact Grant is coming up. The deadline is Saturday. So we've been putting that information on our website. Also, we've been putting it out through social media. There's businesses that call the office with questions, and we've tried to kind of make connections between businesses. There was a business down north that had contacted us, and they were wondering about some of the programs, and through the course of the conversation I mentioned they had closed their restaurant for the time being and trying to think about how to open it again, and I told them, reach out to some of these businesses that are doing it and seem to be doing quite well, because I know the chamber world was created so that you could be a stronger community and help one another out and be a voice going forward. And I think that I know that these businesses don't mind helping one another. We all want to see ourselves, rise from this and be better, or go through this together. And I think that also, having said that, as the chamber community, you're a larger voice. Our chamber is a member of the Atlantic Chamber, which is a member of the Canadian Chamber, and in pushing programs through government and trying to let them know where the gaps are, because we're hearing it through conversations. So we have those conversations, either telephone, webinar, or emails that we've sent on to the government to try and get the word out that this is where there's gaps in the program. So we're there for you, the businesses, and reach out to us. So, and again, go on to the website and get that information off of there.
I'd like to talk to you a little more about the federal government and provincial government programs that have been rolled out in the wake of all of this, in terms of the difficulties that businesses are experiencing right now. And I do know that there are some businesses that have raised some concerns that there could be gaps in the program, as you mentioned. Can you elaborate a little bit on how you folks feel the program is coming together, but also what concerns that you and the chamber members might have that you'd like to see addressed in the coming days?
There were some gaps. I know that the wage subsidy that's coming out the end of the month here was 10%, and we had a voice with our conversations with the federal government to say that it needs to be more than that, and it was very quickly that changed to 75%. And the EI program, the shortening up of the time, the wait period, it was voiced that we put forward, and businesses together across the country that let the government know that, and that's changing every day. They're learning as well as we are learning, and as I said, you learn from that, and they learn from us. So if we get together and create that stronger voice going forward, we can certainly make changes.
All right, hopefully that will be the case then. I just want to talk to you a little bit as well about the idea that we could be in the early goings of the pandemic situation here and the strict social distancing protocols that are in place in Nova Scotia. How are you and your members preparing for the weeks and the months ahead? Because we could be looking well into the summer, well into the fall, and possibly beyond. So what is your perspective as you folks get ready for the long haul in a situation like this?
Well, like I say, we're learning every day. I know, like I said, some businesses had closed, and then they are seeing that other businesses are being able to strive through this pandemic. So I think they're having those conversations. Nobody knows when this will end. Is it going to, are we going to have a little bit of a come back to work at a smaller scale in the summertime? Maybe, but there's certainly talk of another wave coming in the fall. So I definitely think that businesses have to look at how to reach out and get to their customers in a different way. So, and I think that some of the businesses will be able to, the things that they're learning through this pandemic will definitely help down the road how they can deliver, because they are starting some e-commerce, and they are, able to change that. I know there was one business we talked to, and they said that they had some things for sale online, but they didn't have other things. So they've changed their business model, and they are offering more things, and it's just they didn't have time to implement it. So now they're, I guess they're having to implement those things. So, some of it will benefit them in the future. And I think, I think and hope that we'll learn from this and, be better for it in the end, that, learn and change our business models going forward.
And on that note, I just want to wrap up, Susan, by talking about the idea that the Strait of Canso has had peaks and valleys over the years in terms of its business community. What do you think you folks gain as a result of all this going forward? If you look 4 to 5 years into the future, I mean, you've talked about new ways of doing business and working together, even though we're apart right now. But do you think there's a possibility that as a business community, the Strait can come out stronger from all of this?
Oh, like as I said, I think that, you make the connections with one another and you see that we all struggle, and it doesn't have to be in pandemic times. Sometimes we all have the same problem in our business, whether it be that you didn't have time to get your social media to where you want it to be, or you didn't have time to start selling your products at a different level, with the online services that are out there. And, in talking to one another, I think we realize that we are still having the same problems. And I think that we will go forward. The chambers, like I said, they were created to build a community together. And I think we will go forward with that.
Well, we certainly look forward to seeing what happens as a result of all of this. And in the meantime, I'd like to thank you, Susan, for giving me a couple of minutes here this morning. We wish you and your chamber colleagues and all the business community well as we go through this. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Adam. And one thing I would like to say is we have a FemPower webinar coming up on Fridays.
Yes.
And we created that. We had a women's leadership event in Badek in February. And we had a couple of the panelists from that reach out to us. Michelle Greenwell and Ronnie Davis wanted to connect with the community, male and female, so it's not just for ladies, to connect with them to help them get through the pandemic. Our mental health affects our physical health. So we have already had one of those. Last Friday was on mindfulness, and tomorrow we will have one on nutrition, and nutrition being we're all snacking and grabbing that bag of chips mindlessly through this, and why do we do it, and then the last week is on movement, and Michelle Greenwell will speak to that, and Ronnie Davis is more of the cognitive eating side of things for this coming week. But with the events that have gone on in the province this week, although we started this for the pandemic, it's really the troubles that Colchester County is going through right now is astronomical. We can't imagine. All of our minds are trying to comprehend a pandemic, and then our province has been hit with that. And I believe more than ever, we did create this for the pandemic, but it is to help ourselves get through this, and it's your health and your mind and mental and physical health are affected, and that affects your business and it affects your home life. So I encourage people to if you can get on those webinars, do so, and if not, there are actions relief out there. Reach out to someone, talk to someone, and there's counseling lines. We get through it together. So reach out to people and talk about it. And like I say, if you can come on those webinars on Friday, they are FemPower, our Women Leading Change is where it all started, but it's for everybody. So we like to support the businesses with that as well.
That's all food for thought in more ways than one, and we certainly appreciate that perspective as well, not always talked about in terms of business. So we appreciate that very much. Thank you again, Susan, and we wish you folks well as we go forward.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. You take care.
You too. Susan Fox is the Acting Executive Director of the Strait Area Chamber of Commerce. We've been speaking to her today by Zoom.